Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Sleepy Hollow, Season 2, Episode 3, Root of All Evil. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have my co-host, Cleo.
Hello!
And unfortunately, Pat and Michelle could not make it tonight. They're on vacation enjoying their 2-year anniversary. So, hope you guys are having a good time. Missed you this week. So, Cleo!
Yes!
What did you think of this episode?
I really liked this episode.
Did you like it more than the Frankenstein monster?
Yes.
Really?
Well, okay. I liked the Kindred episode, but it didn't go the way like I had imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that their plan was just gonna fail. Like it was gonna fail, and then like by some miracle, it succeeded. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can live with that. But in this episode, I was like, this sort of went more. It's not that it didn't surprise me, but it more went like as I expected.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's for sure. I've talked in the past about how certain tie-ins and stuff really like irk me, and this one, the way they did why am I losing track of his name now? I'm really bad with names. The turncoat.
Benedict Arnold.
Arnold, yes, Benedict Arnold. How can I forget that name? When
I cannot say how well done that was.
It was really good. The only flaw I had with it was like Ichabod, like, oh well, I didn't realize that until now. Now it's making sense. Like it just randomly sparked this thought for him. It was a really good story. I wish his moment of realization was done a little bit better.
Well, I think it was because he drew the connection to the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Because the coins that the redcoats were, the fake coins the redcoats were producing, was the last thing that happened before Benedict betrayed the states.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the coin was what triggered it, and he was like, "Oh wait, coins." Hold on, because he does have a photographic memory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. I always forget about the photographic memory.
I think I made fun of you last week for that. You said you had a photographic memory. I was like, okay, Ichabod.
I always forget it, because this is kind of, like, what was that other show? Unforgettable, where she has, like, that, it's, like, above a photographic memory. It's like she can remember every little detail of every single thing ever. She knows dates and all that. And
no idea what that
I don't
one
know. I kind of cross the shows sometimes. Things
I
all start blending together when you watch like 40 shows a week.
Yeah.
I did the math out. I'd literally watch 40 shows a week.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's why you don't sleep. It makes perfect sense now.
Well, 2 of those are Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, which are 5 a week, so that's 10 right there. So.
Oh, all right.
Anyway. Completely off topic. We're gonna get back on track here. I have to blow the whistle on me. Usually I'm blowing it on everybody else. So last week we left off with the kind of reveal that Henry is Captain Irving's lawyer, right? That was that the final scene or
one of them
from last
week?
Yeah. But now this episode started off, and Abby and Ichabod kind of found out right away. Were you expecting them to realize this so soon?
No, I thought they were going to drag that out.
Yeah.
But they seem to... Well, it's not... They seem to discover right away, but that's only because they tried to visit him and Henry barred them. So it's not like Henry went, hey, surprise. It was more like they were going to see Irving. It just so happened that Henry had barred them from seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, Henry is extremely, extremely clever.
He's very smart.
He is a lot smarter than I can't say that. Because I loved his character in Fringe, John Noble's character in Fringe.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, like, over the top smart that he was dumb.
What?
Like, socially, like, trying to have a conversation when he was just dumb.
Well,
intellectually,
that character was also,
it was,
you know, special in the fact that he was locked up for so long. He had very little social interaction. He had a lot of guilt. So a lot of his social...
And the fact that they actually removed part of his brain. But...
Yes, this is true. They did remove
But that kind of stereotype is now with that actor for me forever. That when I see him in a role like this, you know, it's just like, oh, you know.
You don't know, sir. You know he was Denethor in Lord of the Rings.
I did.
You did? Okay.
No, I did.
That's
John Noble for you.
That's what I know him from.
Yes.
So...
Yes, our first impressions of him. Not that I definitely saw Lord of the Rings before I saw Fringe, but he still will always be Walter Bishop to me, and that will never change. Yes. But I feel so lucky to be able to watch him again on a show that I enjoy watching because he's a phenomenal actor.
I like seeing talented people over and over again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's nice.
But yeah, the character just like. What was it? At one point, they're like, "We're onto a lead with you. We're onto a lead to get the coin or whatever," and he beat them to it. You know, he's just like, well, he went to the police drop box or the thing and switched the coins out. You know.
Well, that's also because whether or not he has obviously he has a tie to the coin because he used it in the first place. He dropped it at the bank for them to you know, for the teller to pick up and then use. So he's sowing the seeds of war with this coin. So he's got some sort of connection to it. So he, above all people, will know where to find it.
Yeah. I just saw the biggest spider ever. It just ran like 200 miles an hour across the wall.
Ooh, nice.
I'll get him later. So Jenny, she's being watched like extremely close by Reyes. And Reyes mentioned that Jenny and Abby's mother, like, she mentioned the mother to Jenny, it was. And it was kind of like Jenny's looking at her like, what are you talking about? Like, Jenny obviously knew nothing of this. Do you think that Reyes knew this information beforehand to try to manipulate the sisters? Or is she trying to, like... that she cares for them in some way.
Well, she obviously knew this information beforehand. She's the one who put their mother away.
Right, which was actually news to us, too. We just found that out this episode.
Well, I mean, I at least guessed it last episode because she said she was there when their mother was apprehended. So I assume, obviously, she has something to do with her arrest.
Right.
We found out that she was responsible for her getting admitted to Tarrytown.
Yeah.
That was the thing we found out. But I don't know. I can't, besides that I legitimately believe she wants to clean up the town and have, you know, stop them being ruled by fear, but I don't know her motivations other than that. She gives me this weird vibe. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Yeah, like, I think her intentions are good. She wants to clean up the town. She doesn't want her police force to be a mockery, which it's kind of been the last year, you know, in the first season, to a degree. They're running around chasing a headless horseman, you know. She's not seen hide nor hair of him yet. So, if she's even going to is another story in itself, but she's living in the real world like any other sane person would do if they hear about a town running around with a headless horseman. They're gonna be like, this whole police force needs to be locked up. So I can't fault her, you know, and she starts hearing stories like this, then she's gonna be a little concerned for Jenny and Abby.
Yeah, but just the way she brought it up to Jenny and the way she brought it up to Abby about their mother. Like, is she trying to manipulate them, or is she actually... I can't tell if she's actually genuinely cares about them. I don't
think
know.
it's a little of both, to be honest.
We also don't know her personal story. Like, we didn't find out Irving's story until the whole thing with his daughter getting possessed.
Right.
But, like, he has a daughter. Does she have a family? Is that why she cares about the girls? You know, we don't know that sort of stuff yet.
Could be, and my next theory, it could be just because I'm extremely paranoid now that we've discovered about Henry being the Horseman of War, that I think every single person that they introduce is now a horseman. So do you think she could potentially be one of the horsemen?
No. Here's why I think that. Because the horsemen, so far, the two we have died. They have had their deaths, and then for some strong feelings of anger and resentment towards Ichabod, one of the witnesses, they've been brought back by Moloch to serve him as a horseman.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Reyes could be a horseman. I'm going to skip ahead. I wrote it in the notes, but I think that one of the sister's parents is a horseman.
Interesting.
Because I remember the first episode we were talking about this. Because you were saying something like, who else from Ichabod's life could be a horseman? And I'm like, hold on, there are two witnesses.
Yeah, you're right.
So it would make sense if the horsemen are divided similarly.
It would.
So that would remain the last two horsemen to be from Abby's past.
That's what I was saying. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure if Reyes did die.
That's true. We don't. But one would think, no, you're right. She could have died. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't see, at least yet in her past,
right,
a strong resentment towards her.
Right. So I think it's possibly a red herring to kind of throw us off a little bit.
Maybe.
They might be trying to slowly, because it's not obvious yet, but like I said, I'm extremely paranoid that they could be pushing her in this direction.
Yeah.
So,
I'm getting the bad vibes, though, so.
Yeah. I don't really like her. That's about all it comes down to at this point.
Like her character's so good and well written, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to know more about you.
I think she's a very necessary character, especially with everything that's going on right now, as they kind of have to ground things back in reality to be able to go a little crazy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an oxymoron, but to me it makes sense.
Well, no, you need the straight man.
Yeah.
In any comedy thing, you need the straight man.
Yeah.
Make everything else so much more funny.
Exactly. And speaking of the straight man, the gay couple that was being discussed, Ichabod revealed that he watched the final season of Glee, and that's just that comment literally made me shake my head. I was just like, no, really?
I was just like, why'd he watch Glee? What other things has he seen? What other pop culture references could he possibly understand?
I mean, it's endless. I mean, maybe not to the point where we're at with on a completely another show, and I hate going and referencing other shows, but Castiel. For anybody who watches Supernatural, like, Castiel has kind of fit in this kind of thing for a little while, and something happened to him just recently that I don't want to spoil for you guys that are not caught up.
You hate referencing other shows?
I know, we referenced like 7 shows to this
Flash
week.
and Gotham. It's gonna happen a lot.
No, I know. But because you get people that are watching this for this, and they might not watch these other shows. But then at the same time, maybe us talking about them, maybe they want to go exploring, try some other shows out.
Yeah, but that is a good point. Because sometimes I might absentmindedly say something about another show without thinking spoilers.
Yeah.
But I should probably be a little more...
Yeah, but like the pop culture reference, they had this ongoing thing with Castiel, and it's been like really awesome dynamic that they've had, and they've recently just changed that up, and I don't want to explain how. And I was a little concerned with how that was going to play out, and it actually ended up working a lot better in some situations. So comparing Ichabod to that, I liked Ichabod being in the dark on a lot of things before. And now that he's starting to gain the ability to talk on a cell phone and operate it and watch Glee and potentially know what Netflix is and things like that, you know, it does bring another dynamic to the show that's actually really cool.
Yeah, and especially in that first episode, I was like, oh, my baby, Ichabod's learning how to make calls and text on a phone. So happy. He's watching TV.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like watching a child take his first steps. It's adorable.
Gets you right in the feels.
Right. Right in the feels.
But Ichabod kind of seems like he's the less level-headed of the two witnesses. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, well, his family's very up in the air at the moment.
And Abby's isn't?
No, you're right. But at the moment, Abby has Jenny, and Jenny's there. While she was put in jail,
They
she
kind
is
of ground
out.
each other out. Yeah.
Whatever. But I think...
They're, to totally reference
Abby's
another
got
show, like Lost, they are each other's constant.
Yes. Oh.
I'm going to see how many shows we could reference in this show now that I said that I hate doing it.
Well, Abby's got Jenny there. And it's like, not like, it's not like Ichabod and Katrina, where he can't just call her and say, yo, what up?
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't say that anyway.
You're right. She wouldn't.
I mean, he knows pop culture, but not to that degree. I mean, he's not growing up in the hood.
He signed his voicemail in last season. He like signed one of his voicemails like, "Dear Abby, blah 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 blah. Sincerely, Ichabod." It's like, are you serious? It's a voicemail.
I think that was one of my favorite moments of last season. Yeah.
And like Abby mockingly did it back.
Yeah. Then we had that whole scene with the bank, like what was Abby doing? She was outside the bank.
They were outside. They were following Henry.
Yeah, that's right.
When Abby said, "No, don't go after him right now," he won't give up any information. Probably just follow him, and then shots fired in the bank. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. So then Abby goes to investigate. We kind of have like a little bit of a hostage situation going on. Like one of the police officers is shot in there, and Abby's held at gunpoint. Abby's got the teller at gunpoint, and stuff's just going down. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Reyes busts in, shoots the lady at the bank right in the chest. Like, what was that all about?
I don't know. I was just like, whoa, because Abby was like trying to talk her down, doing the whole, not negotiate, but the whole talking thing.
Do you
and
think
the
she would have
just
succeeded?
Like walks in, boom, done. Can we go home now? It's like, why would you just shoot this woman?
Do you think Abby would have succeeded? It looked like for a minute she was getting through to her.
She might have succeeded. I mean, the coin seems to work on people differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that woman's resentment towards her job might not have been strong enough for her to continue after Abby talked her down.
Right.
Whereas Jenny's anger towards Reyes was stronger than Abby being able to talk her down.
Yeah. Well, Jenny had good reason. Like, she just finds out that the reason that her mother committed suicide was indirectly related to Reyes.
I think completely she felt that way.
Right.
But not that it was actually Reyes's.
That's why I said indirectly.
Yeah. Oh, you said I heard directly.
No, I said indirectly.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I don't know. She came in, just pop, and she was dead. It was like, whoa.
Yeah. Definitely. We got to meet a new character also, the Collector, who kind of gives them a little insight onto the world of the supernatural existing. He himself, at first, doesn't seem like a firm believer. He's
not, even at the end, he's not a believer.
Yeah, he's got to be, because he saw the coin in action. He saw what it did. And
you, sir, underestimate the power of denial.
Yeah.
I think he could... That's something that can sort of be explained away. Although he does seem a little cautious because he used the Venetian glass.
He used the glass to stop the coin, right?
but I don't think
he
is
kept the coin,
believer yet.
but he kept the coin, and then stated that there was 29 other coins out there.
He wants the set.
Yeah, so
I like that he called it a set.
He's got to believe that there's some power to them, because if he didn't believe that to a degree, he wouldn't want them.
He, I think, sees it as maybe they have powers. He puts that, like, I feel like he's put that in the back of his mind. But they could be Judas's coins, and someone might want them, and that would probably be a lot of money for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that it's Judas's 30 pieces of silver. I thought that was awesome.
Right, and we even got to see them forged them into coins and stuff, through a flashback, which was really cool and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But, like, as Ichabod was describing, like, how they came into being and, like, all that, Collector, he seemed really interested in that story. And then the banter between Ichabod and Abby at that point, where they're just going back and forth, talking like they would normally to each other in front of this guy.
Speaking of bringing up other shows, that was a very Psych sort of moment.
Yes.
Where they were just, like, talking sidebar, and he's like, I can hear every word you're saying. Yeah. It also sounds crazy, but I can hear every word.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think he's going to be, like, a regular member on the show now, or do you think he's going to be a reoccurring?
God, I hope so. Because he's funny.
He is. He is. I really enjoyed that character. It's kind of a fresh take on things, and to know that there are other people out there dealing with the supernatural world, because all we had to go on was Henry of last season, only to find out that he's actually directly tied to Ichabod and this whole thing. So to get somebody from the outside still involved in the supernatural world of things is good to have.
But he's, like, unbeknownst involved in the supernatural world, because he's dealing with these artifacts. And
like Warehouse 13.
But he knows their he knows their history and the myths surrounding them, but he doesn't believe them. Like, you can tell the way he just dismisses Ichabod as being insane.
Right.
Like, he does not believe this stuff. And I love that him and Ichabod was just so funny.
Yeah.
And this is, like, the only show ever where I can recall having them introduce a white male character and have me not go, oh God, another one of them. There are so many women and just diverse people in this show that have introducing a new white male character is like, oh yeah, cool. It's fine.
Yeah. They have a very diverse cast, and
I love this show so much for so many reasons.
Yeah. It's a really good show. I mean, to me, the show is not on the level of some of these other shows like Supernatural and things like that. Though I'm not trying to undermine the show in any means, but that has a lot to do with these shows. These other shows have been on the air for so long, and this is still kind of a new contender fighting its way up the ranks. So I'm sure this show will even out in time and be up there with these other ones as long as it keeps doing well in the ratings and, things like that. So I am extremely excited to see where the show is going to go, but as of right now, I'm going to tell you, if I had the choice, I would 100% watch Supernatural over this show.
Nope.
You're just sick of Sam and Dean bickering, but
although Dean, okay, I can't spoil. No, I can't say that. What has happened with Dean is really interesting. But no, yeah, it's been a lot of the same shit over and over again in Supernatural that I'm just sort of like, no.
Yeah, no, this show is very refreshing. It's refreshing on all sorts of levels, and like the dynamic that we have between Abby and Ichabod is great, as well as a lot of these other characters coming in. It's just like they're all very diverse, unique, and this even though this show came in at the bottom of the supernatural genre, when it seems like supernatural shows are starting to phase out, it's brought in a refreshing take to it. So
I hope they stick around.
Yes, definitely. Then we had Headless Horseman Abraham. He's extremely manipulated by Katrina. But it also, to a degree, kind of seems like Henry does as well. And the Abraham kind of questions that. He goes, "What do you mean?" And he's like, Katrina was like, "Well, where do you think Henry's staying? He could have chose any house to stay in, and he chose the one that I gave birth to him in." And you could see the gears turning with Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I totally, and like, I was, that first scene where she's like got Abraham wrapped around his, around her finger, and then Henry comes in, and he's just like, Mother, I know what you're doing. I was like, oh, he's not going to be so easily fooled.
Right.
And then we see him at the house, and he's burning the bed where she gave birth to him in, and it's just like, whoa, she's getting to him.
Yeah, she's definitely getting to him. At first I was like, oh, the sentiment is what brought him there. And then you see that it's not that, it's the rage, and it is the fact that, like, he realizes that she is getting to him at the same time that causes all these outward emotions. But
I think it also helps that it's a haunted house that nobody wants.
Yeah, definitely. I just like the fact that he has the power to burn things with his mind.
Yeah, well,
kind
he's
of
poor, so one would think.
One would think. I didn't think he had pyrokinesis.
Yeah, you're right. Like that's he is also a witch.
Is he?
He's got magic.
Well, yeah. I mean, he is the son of Katrina.
Whether you can classify him as a witch or not, he's got magic.
That's true. That's true. That's a fact that I always forget. So it's got to be genetic on some level.
Could be genetic. It could be that. Yeah, it could just be that Katrina was a witch, and magic might run in their family, whether you're a witch or not. You may have magic.
Yeah.
Who knows about Katrina's father? Because we don't really know that much about him.
This is very true. But then we have Abby herself thinking Katrina's not going to be that good of a spy. Like.
Yeah, because she was being real, like, yep, sure, whatever you say, Ichabod.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? I think Katrina's doing a great job. I mean, obviously Abby can't see what she's doing. We can, so our opinion is very different than hers.
Yeah, but I think Abby's got a good point where it's like, she may not be a good spy for us. She may be good in terms of helping her son come back to the good side, but she might not be able or be willing to put that at risk to give them information.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think Abby's concerns are legitimate, but who fucking knows, really?
Yeah. What was it? Then we had Jenny go nuts. Like, she gets the coin, she gets possession of the coin, and she goes and tries to kill Reyes. At first, I thought maybe she might go after her sister.
Yeah, Abby thought that too.
Yeah, and it turns out, no, she went for Reyes first, but she also looked like she was going to go through Abby to get to Reyes for a little while. And Abby's, like you said before, the coin kind of affects people differently. Like, Abby seemed like she was getting through to the teller, and not so much Jenny. Like, when she started bringing up that Jenny wanted to kill her and handed me the gun because I want to finish her off, when she was kind of implying that's when Jenny was hesitating. But before that, it was almost as if nothing that Abby was saying was really getting through to her.
Well, I mean, Jenny also didn't shoot Abby immediately,
This is true.
so that sort of, I think, was like, hold on, we can do this. And she's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't shoot my sister. I don't really want to shoot my sister. I want to shoot that bitch, but not my sister.
Right. And then she's like pointing at Ichabod. She's pointing at the collector. She's frantic. She doesn't know what to do. She
didn't expect to be ambushed.
No, she didn't. So, after they get the coin away from her, we discussed that and all that. And then the collector did mention, like I said, the 29 other coins. Where do you think these coins are?
I don't know, because I don't know why the impression I got was the coin that Henry is using, this coin that's being passed around now, is not the same coin that turned Benedict Arnold. That was a different coin. So, I don't know. They could be everywhere, anywhere, nowhere.
I'm pretty sure they're not nowhere.
You don't know that. We haven't gotten to the dimension hopping part of the season yet.
This is true, but then they would still be somewhere.
Nowhere in our dimension.
Unless there is a place called Nowhere. There might be a dimension called Nowhere, and then they would be nowhere.
The town called Christmas.
Yes.
I mentioned Doctor Who. Okay, what's the list of shows we mentioned?
And then what was up with the Dark Eagles?
I don't know, because Ichabod mentioned it, and I was like, okay, it's a metaphor, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then when Jenny dropped the coin, the eagles, like, flew away, and I was like, there were physically eagles surrounding this scene. Were there eagles surrounding the other two coin holders?
I don't remember it, but they were also indoors?
Yeah, I guess they were kind of indoors. I don't know, but they put, like, some emphasis on those eagles, and I'm like, maybe they're important.
I mean, we didn't see any at the bank, right? I didn't see any fly away or anything when Abby was outside the bank. And the other guy was in his basement making a bomb, and I didn't see any fly away from the explosion.
Well, if there were in those scenes, we didn't see them as prominently as we saw them when they flew away from Jenny.
Right.
Because in that scene, I was just like, eagles. Oh. Where are you going?
I mean, they could have represented the other coins.
They could. But then
there did seem to be a lot of them. There could have been 29 or 30 of them.
Oh! But then does that make them spectral? Are they physical? Are they real eagles? Are they ghosts? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm probably reading way too much into this one shot full of eagles, but...
I don't know if we'll ever see those eagles again.
We probably won't. I was just like...
That is like in the Vampire Diaries, how there was this crow in the first episode, and then they almost never touched on this crow again. So.
Oh, crows are just such a powerful motif. I love when they're used.
Well, birds in general. I mean, that was a huge theme of Hitchcock, so that's really carried over, and even Edgar Allan Poe and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we see Ichabod actually have a brilliant idea, and at first I didn't know what he was doing. Right, I was confused. He walks into the asylum at the end, right, and he's like, no, we can't accept you. You can't see Commander Irving.
Yeah. And
he's like, no, I'm not here to see him. I'm here to see
the high guy.
Yeah, that's his name, the high guy. Hi. And you see them sitting, and then Irving walks in, and then they have this, like, discussion, and it's, like, really hush-hush, and it's, Ichabod's kind of convincing Irving, maybe you don't want to get out of here. Maybe you want to stay put. What you don't know is your lawyer is my son, and it's really complicated, so he's also one of the Four Horsemen, so you probably just want to stay put if he wants you out. Yeah. So that was really interesting.
Which is sound advice.
It is. But did you have any idea what Ichabod was doing when he first walked in there?
I assumed he was trying to see Irving one way or another, and when he sat down with the high guy, it was like, oh, so that's how he's getting in.
I mean, I didn't even realize it. I don't know what it was, but usually I pick up on stuff like that, and I didn't even realize it until I saw Irving walk in the room, and I go, that was clever. So. Yeah,
no, that was really funny. But this is going to be a problem for Irving, because now this is Abby and Ichabod who have told him it's for your own good to be in Tarrytown. And when he's given an opportunity to leave, they're telling him no.
Yep.
So.
And I mean, we know something's up too. He's gonna
form some resentment for Team Witness.
Yeah. I mean, we know something is up with Henry too, because he's making a model of Tarrytown. Like, he's got this whole model built up. And it's like,
what did he start with? Was that the precinct, or was that the psych ward? The model he painted brown. I think that was the psych.
I thought it was the bank, but I could have been.
Oh, it could have been the bank. Yeah, you're right.
I could have been
but
completely
so
mistaken.
far we have two models that are painted in.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume the bank and the psych ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything else for this episode that I they may have missed?
I don't know, but Henry said it's time to wake up, which doesn't bode well, because he is, or at least is probably trying to make an army of souls, so
Yeah.
it's probably not going to go well. Who knows what Plan D is right now?
Or EGF.
Team Moloch plan D. I have to go back and keep track of Team Moloch plans, because we've got to be at like D or E by now.
We'll just go with C.
C, Plan C.
Because C is for Cookie, and that's good enough for me. So next week, episode 4, Go Where I Send Thee. Abby and Crane search for a missing Sleepy Hollow child, which reveals a creature akin to the Pied Piper, whose legacy with the child's family extends back to a centuries-old curse, and I really want to spoil Once Upon a Time right now, but I can't do that. So I sneaked in one more show reference there at the end.
I want to go back in this episode and count.
Yeah, so Pied Piper be really, really kind of interesting. But this is a creature, so it's not going to be a human Pied Piper.
Well, no, because just because it's a creature doesn't mean that it's incapable of taking humanoid form.
This is true. This is true. I'm thinking more along the lines of demon. So
Okay,
demon can take human form.
Yes.
But the legacy with the child's family extends back to a centuries-old curse. So this is once again going to place it around the time of Ichabod. So he's probably going to have some tie to that family in some way, shape, or form. Which,
or
like
have
I said,
some
that kind of
knowledge
stuff really irks me.
What?
Just how everything is so conveniently tied around Ichabod. And I understand why they need to do it, but this is the same reason why I didn't like Smallville. Because Superman's got one weakness. Kryptonite. And it just so happens that every villain under the sun has some way to get a hold of it. And it just really irked me. So it's like the same thing here where, like, you know, you got Ichabod and everything is tied back to him in some way, shape, or form. Like, I understand it's got to be done because you need to connect. You have to have a living, breathing, connecting universe. But things need to be able to exist outside of him, too. The entire universe does not revolve around Ichabod.
And things do exist outside of him.
Like Glee.
But he has come across so much knowledge in his life that he has leads towards things. Like, wasn't there... Wow, what was it? There was something last season that was before his time, but he had read something about it.
Was that Roanoke?
Maybe. Or something else.
I don't remember if he was involved in Roanoke.
He was not. Roanoke would have been a long time before.
Yeah.
It would have been 16 something.
Yeah, but I believe he had heard the tale or something like that. I forget how exactly that episode went. But
I feel like anybody in the world before America was created.
Indeed.
Roanoke.
Yep.
Knew the real story of Roanoke anyway.
Mm-hmm. I think that about does it for this week.
Mm-hmm.
We covered quite a bit.
Yes, I like talking about the show.
Yes.
Lots to talk about.
Just totally played the wrong music track for a second there. Cleo, where can the people find you?
You can find me all over the internet at Cleomoto.
All over. Everywhere.
All over.
Especially on 4chan. You can find me down below at Phenomedom. Phenomedom.
Do.
You can find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube /ASOTV podcast. Feel free to join us in chat. Leave us comments below. We will answer them next show. Subscribe, like, share with your friends, etc., etc. Till next week. See you later. You are terrible.
I am.
You are the worst.
The worst.